Hey guys, ni hao, hello, hope all of you guys are doing good. Welcome back to week 9 and class 1. So what we are going to do today in week 9 is, these are the topics. Most of them are really important. The first one is WebGL project, how to install WebGL module to the Unity. I will show you how. Then we're gonna talk about sprite sheet and how to use the sprite editor in Unity. Then the camera size, which is very important. We will actually create a very simple level, okay, and we should be so exciting today because we are moving a player with keyboard in our tiny game. Then we are exporting the game. Then we will see a lot of things about player settings. Okay, so these are the things. First one is WebGL project. First of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new project. So in this, if you see, I have 2 installs in my system, right? So I have 2019 version, which is almost what you have. Then I have 2018, which is LTS. Now if you see, this icon means this version has Android export installed in my computer, okay, and this is what we called WebGL. Okay, so what is WebGL? WebGL allows you to play the game in a browser. Okay, when I say browser, it's Firefox, Google Chrome, Safari. It's a web browser. In the web browser, you can play your game, and that is the easiest way of sharing your game with the public, with the world, with your friends, whatever. In fact, you are going to share your game that you do for your assignment with me using WebGL. Okay, so how to do that? First of all, you need to make sure, okay, that your version installed in your lab has this icon, which is WebGL. If you don't see it, you can click here and install. Okay, so if you go here, add modules, and you can see the ones that is with, you know, the tick mark already is installed. Okay, and I have WebGL build support, which is installed. If you don't see this in your lab system, put a tick mark here and press done. Okay, once you do that, your Unity will install the latest version. You can see the installation progress here. On the top, it will show you how it is installing. Once it is 100% complete, then you can start using this version with WebGL. Okay, now I'm going to use 2019 for this project. So I'm going to click projects, new 2019 version, of course 2D. So I'm gonna say what we call it, Serene level something, okay, whatever. Then I click on create. So let's wait until the Unity project opens up. Okay, and this WebGL is really amazing because you don't have to ask your friend to install your game in order to play that. You can just send it the link for your game anywhere you want to anybody you want. Okay, in the future classes I will show you how to put your game in a website, then how to share it with your friends. Okay, cool. Now the Unity is here, and I actually have any layout. I have Serene. This is my layout. Okay, I've already saved it. Okay, so now what I will do is, actually I'm going to use tall because I'm going to what do you call it? Let's put it here somewhere. Okay, and put the game screen as minimum as possible. Okay, now why? Because I'm going to create a game which is going to be this way. It's more like a mobile phone shape. Okay, so the inspector, I don't want it to see that much, so I think I can, yeah, this is nice. So I have a lot of space to play around. Okay, then what else? Okay, if you go here, WebGL project, so we need to convert, before you do anything, change your project to WebGL. For that you need to go to build settings. Okay, in build settings you can see the current symbol. Okay, the Unity symbol is here, which is this platform is selected. Okay, so we need to select HTML WebGL format. So, and you need to just select this, and what do you call it? You just need to select this. Okay, I'll select this. Okay, then click switch platform. All right, this will take a while. After successful switch platform, you can see this Unity icon showing here. Okay, if the Unity icon shows here, then your project is WebGL. Okay, so let's do that. So select WebGL, switch platform, just wait. It will convert the platform into a WebGL. You don't see any changes, but this will be helpful when you export your game, okay, after you finish building your game. Now as you can see, this icon is here, so your project is WebGL project. You don't have to do anything here, just leave it as it is. Okay, just close. All right, now we are actually using WebGL, and how do you find out is, can you see on the top it says, oops, it says WebGL. Okay, now the next thing is what is called sprite sheet and sprite editor. Okay, I think I need to talk about camera size before we go into the next one. So what is the camera size? Now if you notice one thing, okay, if I move my, see the camera shape here. Okay, this is our camera shape, right? So this is our camera shape. So see, this is what you are looking at. Okay, if I change the size of this window here or here, you can see this camera size will be changing, which is actually bad. Why? Because when you export your game, okay, you need to make sure, okay, everyone can play your game in the same window size. Okay, for example, somebody will be playing in your iPhone, some of your other friends will be playing your game in iPad. Okay, so you know the screen size different. So each and every mobile phone that your game is played will have a different size. So this is what we called in here in the game window, the camera is free aspect. So what is free aspect? Free aspect is, if I change the camera, can you see this is getting bigger? Okay, if I move this way, can you see the camera is smaller? This is wrong. Why? Because see, what if I do this? Okay, my window size reduces. And what if I use a different computer, then my size of the camera is different. You cannot export a game using free aspect. So what you need to do is, you need to decide a fixed camera size which will not be changed, okay, when you are playing the game. So how to do that? You go here. Okay, I'll show you what I'm going to build. So I have created a background window like this. See, I have created this in Photoshop, and I've created this background in Photoshop. So this is what we are going to do today. So what I'm going to do is I will see the size of the what do you call, hang on a second, too many things open. Okay, so now if you see, okay, right click, I'll just see the size of this image. The size is 800 by 1600. So I'm going to choose my area. The camera is, you can choose anything that is coming over here with the Unity software, but see, when you are choosing this, even changing my window will never change your camera size. This is good. This is what we want. Now we have a fixed camera screen. So what I'm going to do is I want something better. So go here, press the plus button, because I'm going to add myself. Okay, and what is the width and height? So I have seen the picture, the width is 800 and the height is 1600. Okay, so it's a fixed resolution, and I can give a name here if I want. Okay, so I can give a name as Surrein level camera, because that's a name, and I have 800 by 1600. Click OK. Can you see? Now your camera, if I do this, can you see your camera size is not changing, and this is nice. Okay, now I will actually move it here. Now this is cool. Now my camera size is fixed, and as you can see here, it says Surrein level cam 800 by 1600. Okay, now I can start designing my level. Okay, now I'm going to import things. As usual, what we need to do, maybe I'll keep the project here. Okay, yeah, this is cool. Maybe I'll create some folders and I'll do one by one. Sprites. Okay, and then I will say inside sprite I'm gonna bring in all the things that I have. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna drag my BG. Okay, as you can see, my BG is too big. Okay, my walls. All right, can you see the walls is also too big? So what we need to do is we'll actually bring in the size. How to reduce the size is pretty simple. What you do is you go to the walls, select here, select the walls here, and you can see this is import settings. In import settings, it says sprite mode is single. Okay, this is very important, and pivot is center. Okay, single pixel per unit is 100. Okay, if you increase this, your picture will be getting smaller. Okay, for example, see this. If I make it 150 and press apply, can you see now the picture is getting smaller? So go to the walls, I'll make it 200, double the size, click apply. Oops, too small. Okay, so I will increase it to 180 and we will see 190. Hey, oh come on man, go to walls, 200. Wait, it's not at all okay. I think I need to actually resize it myself. Okay, so I'll go to press R, okay, here, and I'll resize it myself. Okay, I just wanted to show you there are two ways you can able to resize this. Okay, cool. All right, so now I need to resize my BG. It's the same thing. Go to the resize tool, R, press the R button, and just sorry, BG. Just reduce it a little bit. Cool. Okay, now you put on the walls. You can't see the walls because you know the sorting layer problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly create my sorting layers, and I will create BG, middle ground, and foreground. That is done. So I'll select the BG, and the sorting layer is BG, walls, middle ground. Cool, right? So now this is a window that you see, and now it looks really cool. And I actually created this in Photoshop. Okay, so I just did something, and we have our level. Now it looks beautiful. Okay, so what I can do now is I'll tell you the idea. Okay, I have some pictures here like gems that I can collect. So I'm gonna keep things here, okay, here and there, okay, whatever. Then maybe here something of more value. Okay, then I will have one player which I can move using keyboard. Okay, using keyboard arrow marks. So I will move this character and I will collect things like this. I'll collect, then I'll go here, I'll collect. I'll control the player using my keyboard, computer keyboard. I'll collect here, then I go here, which is win. Ta-da! You are winning. Okay, so this is some, basically I know what you are feeling. This game is not at all challenging, but we are not, you know, we are learning now. So it's important what we are going to do, then what is our final game looks like. You understand what I mean? So I did not want to make the background boring. That's why we have GDUD logo and VAD logo. Now it looks cool, right? Okay then. So everything is fine. But if you see in here, this is a single picture, correct? This is how we are using until this class. But if you see this is not a single picture. Okay, why? Because I'll show you. See here, this has several pictures I want in a same picture. This is what we called sprite sheet. Okay, sprite sheet is a single picture which has several things inside, you know, hero, okay, enemy, all right, whatever, power pickups, you know, buttons, everything, a game, everything. In order to create a game, a sprite sheet has everything. So you can take whatever you want using a sprite editor in Unity. And that's what we are actually going to learn now. What is called a sprite sheet and what is called a sprite editor. If you see here, if you click on this icon in Unity, that will show you what are the pictures inside. If I select this, I can see only one because it's a single picture. If I select this, I see only one. If I select this, I see only one, which is actually wrong because this is multiple, right? So first thing what you need to do is select your sprite sheet, okay, and you go to the export settings, all right, and in there you will see sprite mode is single. You just click this, okay, and select it to multiple, all right. Can you see? And select it to multiple. So I have multiple. Now if you select this, again you can see only one because you need to tell Unity how to cut the picture. So how to cut the picture is pretty simple. You go to sprite editor, you click this button, that will open, okay, a sprite editor. Okay, just apply the settings, and this is a sprite editor. As you can see, okay, you can slice. For example, you can click and draw a rectangle here like this. Okay, and you are cutting the image by yourself. If you want to see all the cuts, press Control, the button Control in your keyboard. Keep pressing the Control and you can see green border appears. So these green borders means what? Green borders means they are separate pictures. Okay, once you are finished here, make sure that you guys click apply and close this. Okay, I'll apply and close. Now can you see? Beautiful, right? I have cut two things from the whole picture. Now if you want all of these automatically cut by Unity, because Unity is really intelligent, and if it is a PNG image, Unity will cut it for you. I'll show you how. Select the image, go to multiple, go to sprite editor. Okay, in slicing it will ask you three options. Type, it says automatic, right? You can either go for automatic, or if you know the cell size, you can go by the cell size. For example, if you create the sprite sheet by yourself, if you know the size, you can go, or if you know the size and the count, you can go. But most of the times automatic is more than enough. Okay, so slice, go to automatic, select, click on slice. That's it. It's done. If you don't trust me, press Control in your keyboard and you can see all things have been cut automatically by sprite editor. See, everything is done. Click on apply, close. Now if you go and see everything is cut for you automatically by Unity. This is amazing, right? So this is what we will use. For example, if I want to use this as a player, I can use this as a player. Okay, now I'm going to change the name into player, and I can't see the player, so the sorting layer must be middle ground. Oops, too big. Reduce the size. Okay, this is cool. And I'm going to move the player, keep it here somewhere. Okay, see, now you can, what we need to do is we need to find a way, okay, to move the player using our keyboard. For that we need coding, of course. We will do that one by one. Now before that, what we need to do is but now actually you need to create colliders. Okay, so what are colliders? You already know. And if I want this player to hit the walls, for example, when I move the player, I should not pass through this, right? I cannot go out. For that you need to have colliders like this. Okay, like this you need to keep colliders. You understand what I mean? Then only your object, you know, cannot move. I mean, cannot go out. Your player cannot go out. Well, basically, I'm not going to do the colliders for all of this. I will leave that to you, okay, because that would be time consuming process and I don't want to record a video wasting your time. Okay, I will show you just 1 or 2 colliders, then you can do that on your own. Okay, now we have the player ready. So what else we have here? Maybe I will have this star, okay, as my power pickups. Okay, maybe for a sorting layer I'll go for middle ground, and it's too big. Reduce the size. It's cool. Okay, and I'll change the name to stars. No, star. Oops, whatever name you want to give. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'll move the star wherever I want. See, this camera is bothering me, so I don't want to see it. I'm going to gizmo. I'll switch on the camera icon. Okay, so now it's not bothering me too much. Now what I will do is I'll move the star wherever I want. Okay, like this. Maybe I can make the star rotate. You know, already you learned that, right? But we will do that again, no problem. So I'll create a folder. It's called scripts, and I'm going to create a script for my star script. Create an ad. Okay, you guys can make the star rotate. Okay, like last time you did. So I'll open my script. So let that to open in Rider. Okay, here we are. It's loading. It will take a while. Let's see. Okay, I'll switch back to Unity. Just once you open IDE, always come back to Unity once. Okay, then you again go back to your JetBrains. What I will do is I'll make it big. Okay, I don't need any start function, or maybe I'll just remove the unwanted things. Okay, so in the update I can say rotation script, right? So transform dot rotate. Okay, you can say X is too much. Okay, I mean, what direction? Z direction is what we need to rotate, right? So I'm gonna say 0F comma, because Y, no, I don't need any rotation. Okay, and this maybe 2F in the Z direction. I'll go and see. Click on play. Cool, right? So I have this star rotating nicely. Okay, so what I will do is, now my star is ready, and I'll go here and I'll add collider for my star. What collider you can use for the star? For me, actually, I need to show you one thing about colliders. There is a type of collider called, okay, polygon collider. What is called a polygon collider? For example, you can have a box collider like this, which is wrong, which is not nice, right? But most of the time I for these kind of shapes I can go for circle collider. This is more than enough for me. But if you want to be very specific, okay, about the shape, you can go for something called a polygon collider. See, polygon collider 2D. If I select that, can you see Unity see what is the shape of the object, and it actually applies collider all it's around. It actually looks nice, guys, but the problem with polygon collider is it's a heavy calculation for your computer. For example, see, in the colliders you have unnecessary lines. These collision points are unnecessary. Okay, maybe the shape is nice, okay, it's accurate, it's good, but these lines will take a lot of time for the computer to calculate, which is not needed. So normally I don't personally use polygon collider. Okay, so I just wanted to show you, and that's why I showed you, but I'm going to remove that. I'm happy with circle collider, no problem. Okay, maybe I'll reduce the size of the circle collider a little bit. Yeah, so nobody will ask you a question. You don't have to be perfect, okay? Yeah, this is more than enough. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to convert that into a prefab. Okay, create folder, prefabs. I'll drag and drop my star. My star is ready. I'll delete the one which I already have. Now what I will do is I can have my star wherever I want. Happy days, right? So I'll create the stars. wherever I want. Okay. Cool. If I play the game, nice, right? So my stars is there spinning. So what my player can do is the player can move and pick up the stars. Okay, for that what we need to do is you need to first of all go to the player. Okay, make sure you add a collider. Okay, maybe we can make the player a little bit big. Okay, add component, circle collider. Yep, of course, too big, so reduce the size of it. Just don't have to be perfect. Nice. Okay, so I have the player. Now what else I need to do is I need to write a code, okay, so that I can move the player. Okay, in your keyboard you have this, right? The arrow marks. Okay, so in the keyboard you have these things. Okay, up, down, left, right. So when I press this button, I want my player to move left. When I press this button, I want this guy to move here. This one move up, and when I press this, I want this guy to move down. Okay, so we are actually going to see how we can able to do that using a C# script. Okay, for that what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a script. Go to the player. I'm going to say player script, player script, create an add. Just wait for a while. Yep, it's done. So I will open my player script now. Okay, and I will actually can see what I can able to do with this. Okay, so let me double click and open the player script. So let me make it bigger for you. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change, find a way when the user, when the actual human press the arrow mark in your keyboard. Guys, my first question is, do you know, do we know when our player is going to press this button, on the keyboard? Do we know? No, right? The player can press the keyboard button anytime, correct? So what we need to do is we need to make sure that we write our code in the update, because in the start function it will run for one time, then afterwards it will never run. But if it is an update, every frame your game will be checking whether the keyboard buttons has been pressed or not. If pressed, it will run the code whatever you have written here. So what I'm going to do is void update. We need to check if statement. Okay, so we are going to write if statement for the first time. So let me tell you how if statement works. If statement works is, for example, if in the brackets you write the condition. You write the condition. If the condition is true, what to do? You need to write inside this. Okay, for example, I'll give you one more example. Okay, so the condition is if, if time is equal to 5 p.m. just an example, all right, then what to do? Leave the classroom. Okay, you understand what I mean? One more example. If water is hot, then make t, close it. You understand? If this is a condition, if water is hot, if it is yes, then make tea. If the water is not, then do not make tea, correct? This is the if statement. It's a very powerful statement, guys. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the same. If, okay, input dot get key down. Okay, so if somebody press a key down, what key? We need to say key code, what key? Left arrow. Can you see? This is the condition. And guys, Unity will actually say your comma is missing. But for if statement, please remember there is no comma. It might show it as it is something is wrong here, but do not trust. Okay, for if statement, there is no comma. Okay, we call it semicolon. It's nothing. Press enter. Okay, now if somebody pressed the left arrow, what to do? Move the object left, correct? If somebody clicked the left arrow, move the object left. So how to move? Transform.rotate, you guys already seen it. To move an object, you need to go for transform.translate. Okay, in which direction? Vector3.left, correct? In the left direction. Okay, into how much? Into how much? I say 2f. Okay, so once you press one time, when you press in the left side direction, your object will be moved 2 units. This is the understanding of the coding. If input dot get key down is left arrow, then move your object left side. Okay, you copy this, Control C, Control V. If make sure you write everything between these two. This is the update function, right? It belongs to update. Make sure you write all of these inside these two. Okay, now if somebody get or right arrow, okay, oops, if someone press the right arrow, move vector3 dot right, okay, into 2 units. Simple. Again, I'm telling you, this symbol, this semicolon will not be there for if statement. Can you see? It's not there. Okay, so if your if statement is not working, check this first. Okay, now let me go and see whether if it is working or not. I play the game. I press the play button. Oops, too much, right? Can you see? This is not what we want. It is working, but it is too much. So what we need to do is, you need to actually multiply this value, okay, with our time, the natural time. Okay, why? Because when you don't multiply, when you don't calculate the movement, okay, without using our real world seconds clock, then your movement will be too fast or too slow depending upon your computer power. Okay, so in other words, what I'm trying to say is, if you don't multiply your movement numbers with the clock, those people who are playing your game with an amazing computer or an amazing high power mobile phone will be too fast, And those who are not having a very good mobile phone or a very old computer, your game will run really slow. That is not fair, correct? Your game should be played exactly the same, no matter how expensive device they have. Okay, so what we need to do is you need to multiply that with time dot delta time. So what is this means? This time dot delta time is the actual time, okay, of your computer. Okay, so you are not multiplying it with computer power. Now you are actually multiplying it with your actual clock. Now can you see? I can able to move, but right hand side is too much. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to multiply this with time dot delta time. Okay, 2f is 2 less, so I'm gonna say 4f. Okay, so I'm gonna go here and check. I play the button. Okay, this is cool. Okay, now what happens, one more problem I have is we have made get key down. So what happens is every time, see, you need to click. If you press the arrow mark and holding it, it's not moving. Every time you need to press. If you keep it pressed, okay, it's not moving. So that is something wrong because we actually used get key down. There is one more option called just key, just get key. Remove the word down. So what is the difference now is this time, can you see? Cool, right? If you keep pressing your keyboard, okay, if you keep pressing your keyboard, it will move naturally. I think it's moving too fast, and I can reduce the 4F to maybe 2F. Okay, I think now it is amazing. I go here. Okay, press the play button. Cool. Okay, but now the problem is, see, I'm just keep going like this. See, I can go anywhere I want. We forgot one thing. So for up and down, we need to do the same thing. So I'm gonna copy this, Control C, Control V, get key dot up arrow. Okay, oops, up arrow, vector 3 dot up into time dot delta time, Control V, down arrow, okay, vector 3 dot down. Okay, so you might have a doubt, sir, what is called vector 3? Vector represents movement, okay, in a 3D space. For example, y, x, and this is z. Okay, the vector 3 represents how much distance it need to travel in a x plane, okay, and a y and z. So this is more like if an object is in here in the 3D space, you can say x comma y comma z. Okay, so x might be some value, y might be some value, z might be. So vector 3 means, as you can see, the number 3 means 1 2 3 x y z. There is one more thing called vector 2. Okay, and this deals with only x and y, and that's why it says vector 2. Okay, so this is vector 3. Okay, and that's why we are actually representing where it is moving. Now if you see, we'll check up, down, left, Right, cool. The problem is now I can able to go anywhere I want, which is wrong, right? Which is wrong. So what you need to do is you need to what do you call first of all, make the colliders happen, right? So for the stars, in the previous exercise we already know. Okay, so the thing is, if I touch this star, I need to collect the star. So what we need to do is I need to destroy the star once I have a collision. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'll check with the star, open the prefab. Don't forget this is a prefab. Okay, go for is trigger. Okay, is trigger. So what happens is, because it's a prefab, because it's a prefab, all the stars becomes a trigger. So I'll go to the star script, okay, in here, and I will say, okay, new condition, on trigger enter 2D. Don't forget the 2D. On trigger enter 2D, destroy this dot game object. See, now what happens, I'll go and check if it is working, play the game. Not working. So my player is having a collider, my star is a trigger. Okay, so on trigger enter 2D, this is a star script. Okay, destroy this dot game object. Okay, I'll check what is the problem. I'll make my player trigger. Okay, okay, it is not working. So the problem is for collisions to work normally, you need to have something called rigid body. You know, rigid body uses a gravity, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll add the star. Okay, I'll go inside what do you call the prefab. I'll check by adding rigid body 2D. Oops, sorry, rigid body 2D. Okay, now the problem is your rigid body has gravity, right? So the gravity scale is 1. So what happened, if you add gravity, your stars will fall. Oops. Okay, so you should stop that. So what you need to do is open the prefab. Okay, make sure your gravity is 0. Okay, then close the prefab. If you come here, okay, so your stars will not fall, and it's, as you can see now it is working. So what you need to understand is you must have rigid body attached to at least one object for the collision to work. Okay, before I never had rigid body for my star and for my player, but both of them had collider. So it was not still working because you need to have rigid body at least to one object. Now all my stars have rigid body and a circle collider, and they are trigger. Okay, and I have already written the code. On trigger enter 2D, destroy this dot game object. Okay, so now what happens is, so if I actually go and collect, okay, and I am collecting all the stars. Oops, see, it's actually very simple, but the problem is I can actually go anywhere I want, which is wrong, and I am actually moving away from the screen, which a player cannot see. Okay, so how to control that? First of all, let me just save my project. Save project. Okay, everything is fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding colliders. Okay, so this is my walls. Okay, so how I'm going to add collider is going to add component, okay, and go for box collider, I know it will be too big. Okay, so edit your collider. You need to start doing this. I know this is really time consuming process. Okay, so your add collider is done. Then you go for one more box collider. So you edit this collider, okay, like this. I know you will hate this. Okay, add one more collider, edit collider this way, and you need to do for the rest of the things as well. Okay, if you move it, okay, why I am actually moving walls. Okay, I have this much colliders and I have the player is not a trigger. Okay, everything is cool, but I need to check why it is not working. Okay, maybe the wall is too big. What I will do is just switch off the collider for now. Okay, there is one more way you can do it. You can create an empty object. Okay, then you can say colliders. Okay, then what you do is you reset it. That becomes at the center. Now you can add a collider. This is an empty game object, so there is nothing there. So you can just go ahead and create only box collider 2D. Okay, and see, same reason. I know why it is not working. See, there is no rigid body, guys. Come on, I just told you, right? Everything is fine. I think I can add the player to the rigid body, because without rigid body your collision will not work. I don't want the player to automatically fall, so I'll make the gravity 0. Then I'll actually play now. See, I can't move here, and I can't move here, and I can't move there, and that's cool, right? So what you need to do is you need to actually now add the colliders everywhere. For this, you need to add actually colliders for here. Okay, so this is the time consuming process. And one more thing what you can do is you can actually go for printing console messages as well. For example, before destroying it, say debug.log. Oh my god, sorry. Debug.log star collected. Okay, I know some of you guys will be asking, sir, how to do the score? Could you please teach me scoring? I will ask you guys to wait, because everything on the same day is wrong, because now you are actually learning how to move your character. Okay, so you need to make sure that you can move your character before you go for counting, because counting, okay, needs a concept called public and private variable, which I have to explain to you. If I explain to you all of it on the same day, you wouldn't understand anything. Okay, so for this exercise, make sure that you create this game and complete it. That's what I want. You need to complete it. Okay, so what we can do after that is we will try to export your game into a WebGL. Okay, export. Now what I will do is, my player is fine, my game is playing okay. You can add music you want. Okay, as you can see now, it says in the console, you can see, okay, star collected. Can you see here? It says star collected. You can't see the console window, so I'll just go ahead and go for console window. I'll put it right here. Okay, when I play the game, whenever I collect a star, it says star collected, star collected, star collected, star collected. Okay, so once you learn scoring, then we actually go for the same exercise. In the next class, we will go for scoring. Don't worry about it. Okay, now The last thing we need to do now is we need to export. Guys, I'm not going to do the colliders everywhere. That would be waste of time, okay, for me actually. But when you guys, you have a lot of time in your class, so please do go ahead and do the colliders, okay, and create this game, finish this game. Okay, once your game is done, you need to start exporting it. For that, we already know that we are actually using WebGL, so we need to build. Okay, so how we are going to build is we will see. Okay, so maybe I will just stop this video in here. I will see you guys in the next video.